happy Saturday morning. You're watching the ECCO Show. Sweet, man, I'm so excited that you guys are here today, and we have just such an awesome show, Pat Attack.
It is going to be an awesome show, and you are correct. My name is Pat Attack, and you are?
I'm DJ Shawnee D.
And we are so glad that you're here with us this morning.
Yes. We're going to talk about some really fun stuff, and we even have a fun ECCO Institute for you today. So
that's right. We're going to bring a live rhinoceros onto the set for you guys to see. We're going to pet it. Shawnee D said he might even ride on it.
Nope, that's not true.
Is that next week?
Nope, not next week either.
Is that a dream?
Yep, definitely a dream. I think you're taking some lessons from Fetch because that's not happening at all. That's never going to happen. Never did happen.
It might one day.
No.
Never say never. Not on the ECCO Show.
Unless we film in the middle of the zoo, that will not happen.
On episode 50,000.
We travel to Africa and ride the rhinoceros.
Yeah, that would be good. But okay, I'm okay. Not today.
Not today.
What are we doing today?
So we're going to talk about Paul before rulers. We're going to be in the book of Acts today. Yes, and we're going to talk about, like I said, we're going to talk to Lulu. That's a tongue twister every time I say it. Lulu the librarian.
Lulu.
Yes.
Lulu.
About one of her favorite things to do, reading books. So it's going to be really awesome. And we have a really fun game plan for us. Speaking of games.
Yes.
Oh, you know.
The challenge of the day.
It's time for the challenge, Pat Attack. Would you like to spin the wheel, Pat Attack?
Yes, I don't want to stand up.
Okay. You don't want to stand up. Your arms are pretty long. You might be able to reach it.
I don't want to lean back in my chair because that can be dangerous.
It can be.
Ready?
You got it. That's really close to the dog back there. Like head's just missing it. Number two.
Number two.
Thank goodness it wasn't one, because one was rough.
What's wrong with number one? One's rough?
Yeah, two looks more sufficient. So two.
What
looks,
is two?
Two looks better.
Odd laws. What is odd laws? Is it like an outlaw?
I know what oblong means.
Oblong,
Oblong odd laws.
in-laws? No, not in-laws. No.
That's outlaws.
Outlaws.
Yes.
But that's not it either. It's odd laws. Okay, odd laws. What do we do on odd laws?
Well, I know what the word odd means. It means strange.
Strange or different.
Yes.
Right.
And I mean law. Law means something that you should do. So these probably are just strange things that are written in places that are not just suggestions but laws.
Great job breaking down those words, but let's read what it says. So odd laws, it says hosts will read various ridiculous state laws.
Okay.
And must determine if these laws are real or fake.
Or real.
Are real or fake. Or are true or false. So is that what these things are for? I see you've got those.
Yes, I got them over here, Pat Attack.
False.
So
true. False.
I'm just gonna hold up this the whole time.
False.
I mean, I've got a 50-50 shot of getting it right.
I guess so. Okay, so just weird state laws. Like how weird could they get though?
I'm not sure.
Let's give it a shot. I think I understand though. We read a weird law and then we determine if it's real or fake.
Should we take turns reading them?
Sure.
Okay, you pick the first one.
Okay. In Los Angeles, California, it is illegal to wash your neighbor's car without their permission. Oh, and by the way, we do not have the answers to these. We actually have our producer, Tortellini, is behind the scenes, and she's going to be cueing us in if we get these correct or not.
Hi, Tortellini.
Yep. Hey, Tortellini.
Hey, guys.
Okay, so once again, in Los Angeles, California, it is illegal to wash your neighbor's car without their permission.
Without their permission. I'm going to say that's false. That's not a law. There's no way.
I think it's true.
Okay.
I would say it's like you shouldn't just go wash other people's cars.
Yeah, but that's like more of like a guideline, you know, like you should probably ask, but I don't know if that's a law.
I don't know.
We'll check it
Touching
out.
other people's property. What do we got, Tortellini? Is it true or false?
It is true.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Yep. We are supposed to be kind, but we are also supposed to have boundaries. You can't go around just washing anyone else's house or driveway or
No
cars.
boundaries. We live in a world of complete anarchy.
I just thought I would clean your dog for you. Like, I was wondering where my dog went, right?
Take him to the laundromat, you know? Put him in a spin cycle. And
Nope. Nope, not that.
In Tennessee, you can't go around door to door selling doors. Okay? Interesting. Door to door selling doors. Can you imagine knocking on somebody's door, Pat Attack, and be like, yes, I'm selling something today. Yes, what are you selling? Doors.
I noticed as that I was knocking on your door and I realized, it could have been better.
We could have
you
improved
tried
it.
the door that I'm holding?
You should actually take the door that you're selling and open it as they open their door.
Yeah. Just take their door and then say, I tried to knock, but you don't have a door. Would you like this one?
Okay, is it true or false, Pat Attack? I'm gonna say false again.
That's too ridiculous. There's no way. Okay, Tortellini.
It's false.
Yay!
Oh, okay, good.
We should try it sometime though. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll play a trick
Hey!
on some of you.
It says so I guess we can, right?
But I guess
If that was false, then we can go
it's
around
true.
and sell doors.
These
to
are
people.
laws, so technically we could go around and do it. Maybe we should play a trick on some of our friends watching the ECCO show, selling doors.
That would be good. What a trick that would be.
All right, number 3.
All right. Okay. In Louisiana, you can't send someone a surprise pizza without risking a $500 fine.
Okay, that's false again. There's no way.
What?
You
You
can't
can't
send them
someone else a surprise pizza without risk. So if you were like, I'm gonna surprise my friend and I'm gonna send them a pizza.
Even like his birthday.
Yeah, even a surprise birthday pizza, you do it and like, man, what a great gift. And then they come at you and they're like, sorry, that's $500.
You're going behind bars, friend.
I'm putting false.
False. It's gotta be false.
It's gotta be false.
Tortellini, what is it?
That's true.
No way!
You can't. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm not moving to Louisiana.
It's like you get punished for doing nice things for people.
Why? Okay, so even then, even if it was illegal, like if there's a punishment, sure. Why is it $500? And who made that law in the first place?
It's the cost of the pizza. Maybe their pizza's really expensive.
These people keep sending me surprise pizzas, and I'm sick of it.
Actually, you could put signs outside of your yard. You know, it's like, please send me pizzas, and then like bait them into going to jail.
It's not a surprise. I'm expecting them. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I missed that one. I was doing well. I got the first
That's
two right.
subjective. Okay, so in Florida, it's illegal to have more than one pet goldfish.
You can only have one.
Okay. It's Florida, though. I mean, it's surrounded by fish.
Yeah,
So-
and I guess if you have more than one, you just drop it off in the Everglades and watch the goldfish population just skyrocket, and then people don't feel safe. Sorry, that was snakes.
Or alligators.
I'm gonna say true.
I'm gonna guess false.
I'm
again.
gonna say true. I think that it's illegal to have more than one pet goldfish because I think goldfish are pretty violent fish, and if you have more than one,
They're
they
violent?
might fight each other. And the state of Florida does not like the idea of the fighting fish. That would be a cool
that's a
mascot for
very-
the school, though. We're the fighting fish.
That's a
and then
very weird story, Fat Attack.
that's what I'm saying. I'm sticking to it.
Okay,
Two.
okay. I'm gonna go false. What is it, Tortellini?
It's false.
Yes! Finally! That was the first one I got right and you got wrong. That's the
No,
first
that
one.
was- I know.
Fish are friendly. Beta fish fight each other.
That's what I was, that's what I was
beta
saying.
fish, beta fish. Yeah, those are the fighting fish.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're very aggressive, and
they're-
if they see their reflection in the glass, they'll try to fight themselves.
Beta fish like to act like alpha fish.
There's a little Greek alphabet joke for you, in case
Okay.
you didn't get one of those ever in your life.
All right.
Last one. In Maine, it's illegal to park in front of Dunkin' Donuts.
No, that's only in Massachusetts. Just kidding.
Oh, I was like, you really know your obscure state laws. But where do you, so if you need to go to Dunkin' Donuts, is it just, do you
Yeah.
park behind, or do you have to go through the drive-through?
False. It's gotta be.
I'm gonna say,
Not true.
I'm gonna go true. I'm gonna go true. I bet in Maine there aren't even that many Dunkin' Donuts. I bet there's hardly any, for some reason. I don't know why that
Because they're all in Boston.
I bet it's true. I bet
It's
it's true.
true.
What?
That's a fun story too.
Oh my
I'm gonna have to look that one up. Man, these are obscure. I'm pretty sure that's all the questions we have.
Now I kind of want to just go back and just do some of these for fun. See if
Yeah.
I actually get a
Go,
ticket
break the
or
law.
go to jail.
We're not encouraging you to break laws, no matter how obscure they are.
No.
One of them, did you know in Tennessee, I believe that it's illegal to shoot a whale from a moving car.
I think in Kentucky it's illegal to carry ice cream in your back pocket.
And I think also in Tennessee, it's illegal to lasso a fish.
Lasso fish.
Lasso a fish, right? Only the best cowboys can eat seafood here.
In the landlocked state of Tennessee. Okay, that was good, Pat Attack.
That was a lot of fun. I like that challenge.
That was a lot of fun. I would bet you that there's more obscure laws. And if you know any more obscure laws, we want you to tell them on the weekend. So if you know any fun ones, please come grab one of us and tell us your obscure laws that you figured out.
And we'll see if we can figure out if they're true or false.
That's true, we should. But play that at home with your friends, see if they know them too. Memorize them and then go out and share them with your friends.
Yeah.
'Cause that'd be fun. Just play a fun game with your friends too. So anyway, that brings us to our ECCO Institute, Lulu the librarian. I said it that time, that was good. That was
Lulu
good.
the librarian.
That's like a tongue twister.
Lulu the librarian.
Lulu
Lulu the librarian. Lulu the librarian. Lulu the librarian. Lulu
the librarian. Anyway, so we're going to talk about reading and see what she has to say about books. So we'll see you on the other side.
Let's check it out.
Hi, how are you? I'm Lulu, the librarian at the ECCO Institute. And today we're going to talk about reading really, really large books. Now, I know some of you might say, ugh, I don't even like to read. It's so long. And big books can be kind of hard to read. But if you read a book, it can take you places that you've never seen and you've never been and you've never heard about. So I want to talk to you today about books that might be kind of thick, but it's worth reading about. I mean, guys, the books that I have here take me all sorts of places. They can take me, I have a book here, it's Mufaro's Beautiful Daughters, and it takes me to Africa, because that's where the story takes place. And I've never been there, but I know kind of what it's like just because I read it. And then, oh my goodness, then it tells me about new things that I might not know about, like the solar system. This gives me lots of information about our solar system, all the planets. It's really cool. And then I can even read to learn about how to do something new. Like, I don't know if your mom's got one or not, but I have a cookbook and it shows me all sorts of recipes that I can learn how to make anything within the pages of this book. And I think that is so cool. Books are so intriguing. They can be all different sizes and have all sorts of different information. Today, though, we're going to talk about how do we get through a book that's really big and thick. And I know the older that you get, the bigger the books. So let's talk about that today. So, I enjoy books so much, but now this book here, take this book for instance. This book is one of my favorites, and it's just not one book. There are 7 books in this set, so it takes a while to get through all these books. But it's well worth it. And you know what? It's very cool. I use every opportunity I can to read. I have to work sometimes, and then I have to kind of pick and choose when I have time to read. So anytime I get a little bit of time, I love to sit down with my books. And that's when I read. Sometimes I will even get so engrossed in a book that I will read it through the night. There's been times I've been up till, don't tell your parents, 2 o'clock in the morning reading my books. And I love them. They're so interesting and so fun to read. I'm going to tell you about another book that's pretty long. It's got a lot of chapters. A lot of cool stuff happens in this book. It's called the Bible. And it's really big too. But it's got amazing stories in it too. I love reading all the stories and what God says to do in the book, the Bible. I love it. And even though it's long, it's amazing to read. So, in the Bible, there is an amazing story in the book of Acts about Paul. Paul was an amazing Christian. He loved Jesus and he came to know God as his Savior. And you know what? He wanted to share that with everybody he met. And so they had put him in prison, but he wanted to get to Rome. So he asked to go to Rome to see Caesar. And because he was a Roman citizen, he got his request. So they took him to Rome. He wanted to share the gospel with not just the Jewish people, but the Gentiles. Because remember, Jesus came for everybody. And Paul wanted to use every opportunity he had to share that with everybody. It was so important to him. He was so excited about having Jesus as his Savior. It's just like these books. I get so excited about reading them, and when we get really involved, we want to use every opportunity we can to read it so we can finish the book. Well, Paul wanted to use every opportunity he had to share Jesus with others. And I think that's an amazing thing. We all need to go ahead and share what we know about Jesus and get excited. Use every opportunity to share Jesus and to read a good book.
Wow. I bet Lulu has read so many books.
Yes, she has a lot on her bookshelf too.
Yeah.
So
I think she's read all of those?
Oh, I know she has. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And those are a lot of smaller books, but she also, as we saw, has read a lot of big books too. And those can be kind of intimidating sometimes. Because the longer the book, the more time you got to invest.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think that's with so many things where we spend a lot of time doing something, right? We grow in our knowledge of something, but we keep going. And even sometimes we get tired, we still go.
Yep.
Today we're going to be talking about Paul. And we know that Paul has been on missionary trips for a long time, right? He's been sharing the gospel with a whole bunch of different people. We
Yep.
know at this point he's even been arrested.
Yep.
And the scripture that we're going to be talking about today is found in the book of Acts. And this is in Acts chapters 24 to 26. And so Paul, even though he was going around and encouraging different church leaders and just sharing the gospel with other people, at this point he's now been arrested and he's been he had the opportunity to speak to a whole bunch of different leaders. So we got to speak to a couple of different governors. They were named Felix and Festus. And he was even able to speak with a king named Agrippa.
Did he have a strong grip?
Agrippa. He had Agrippa. Paul had him. So Paul stood on trial before these people.
Yes.
And Paul's been used to going around and speaking to different Christians and spreading the gospel to people that maybe didn't know who Jesus was. But these are people that were holding him captive, right? Or people that had a lot of authority. So Paul is speaking to leaders. And sometimes, you can talk with your friends and maybe it's easier to have conversations, but sometimes you talk to people that are a lot older than you or wiser than you or maybe have more power than you. And sometimes that can make us nervous, right? But Paul still shared the gospel, right? He knew that God wanted him to continue to share the gospel and God even told him that he was going to take that to Rome.
And that's what I was going to say is he was still taken captive and they were going to talk about setting him free and all that stuff. And he was like, no, I want to take this to Rome. I want everyone to hear about the gospel. And that's really encouraging because I know sometimes when I think about myself and say, there are moments when I may get a get out of jail free card, no pun intended, and say, you know what, I'm going to take that rather than try to take the hard way, right?
Yeah.
I might just take the easy route. And Paul didn't do that at all.
Yeah.
He was like, you know what, I'm going to take this as far as Rome so that everyone can hear about Jesus.
Yeah, and if he didn't, I don't even know what would have happened.
It's true. Because of the spread and the influence that Rome had, probably thousands upon thousands of people heard about it.
Yeah, so I know it wasn't easy, right? But still, we've been echoing. Every single time we talk about Paul, we talk about how he always used opportunities to share the gospel with people, right?
True.
So I got one question for us this week.
Okay.
Right? It's really cool when we read about these stories, we hear about what Paul did, but so many times whenever we read our Bible, we say, oh man, we take this story and we say, okay, what does that mean for me? Right? Do I just need to have this story memorized? But really, it is important that we know these stories, but it's also important that we do stuff with them.
So what do our friends do with the questions there at home?
Right? So they can talk about these questions, and the important thing is when we talk about these questions, we ask, how can this change the way that we live? Right? How does this change the way that we see Jesus? How does this change the way that we think that we should act?
Yeah,
right?
That's good.
Right?
Tech.
I mean, I know that I'm supposed to be kind, right, to other people, but sometimes I might not always feel like being kind to other people.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And so it's important to. But the question that I have today, you ready for it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You sure?
I'm absolutely sure. Let's do it.
Hope these guys are ready too.
Yeah, give me a thumbs up. I can see them.
Good.
They're out there.
Good. All right. Paul used every opportunity to share the gospel. Is there someone in your life that you see an opportunity to share the gospel with? Shawnee, can you think of anyone in your life right now that I think that you could share the gospel with?
Yeah, there's some family members out there that this is kind of a hard question, because I think there's some family members sometimes that you may think that they know Jesus, or they say that they may know Jesus, but sometimes their life doesn't show it. And I think sometimes we need to step out in faith and break those barriers, because sometimes we don't want to be offensive, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't want to make somebody feel bad, or maybe that we don't want them to think any less of us. And we're like, well, they seem like they have everything together, so I'm just going to keep hoping that they have Jesus. And then that kind of helps me not have conversations with others. But if I just say, you know what, I'm going to talk to them about Jesus regardless, because then they might receive it in a way that's like, you know what, this person loves me and cares about me, and they might be more receptive to it than I think they will be.
Yeah. And I think that this is going to sound weird, but you don't have to just hear about Jesus in the gospel one time.
That's true.
Right? Someone might even believe in the gospel, believe in Jesus. But sometimes, right, if we aren't always walking really close to him, or maybe we just think like, oh yeah, I know that story. I've already been there before. But sometimes people can share with us just how powerful Jesus is, or how much he loves us.
Yeah.
And even then, us hearing it again can ignite new love in us, right? And change our ways and make us want to walk closer with him.
That's true. And that's why they call it the living word, because you might hear something in the word that maybe it doesn't strike a chord with you as it will years down the road, and you read it again and you start hearing something new about the gospel, and it's like, the gospel hasn't changed, but we have as people.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we start to be changed differently in many different ways by certain things that they haven't been changed in the Word.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm trying to think. I was just recently talking to someone the other day. I met them just for the first time, and I didn't immediately just hey, do you know Jesus? Immediately, but they asked me what I did, and I told them that I worked at a church, and like, oh, that's cool. And I asked them, hey, do you go to a church? And I think so much in just talking with people through regular conversation, we can usually get a tell, hey, do they have a desire to know God? Right? Sometimes we're like, no, I just do not like the idea of going to church or anything like that. But sometimes if we just have conversations with people, I'm like, hey, do you go to church? And they told me about how they were starting to go to a church, and they really didn't believe in God for a long time, but they kind of wanted to know a little bit more. So they were trying to, and I thought, man, I'm so glad I had this conversation. It makes me want to spend more time with that person, and not to just tell them the same thing every week or scare them, but just to know them, right? To love them, and to eventually share with them, who Jesus is. So I think that the opportunities are all around us.
Yeah, I think sometimes we get so bogged down with what's happening in our lives, or even bad things that might be happening, and we don't rest enough or patient enough that we can look up and realize all the wonderful things that God's doing in our life.
Yeah. That's good.
You just rested in that, right? Just like, wow, that is really nice.
Yeah. That's our question, guys.
Yeah.
That's our question, right? That really asks us, hey, what are we doing, right? We love Jesus. We want to talk about Jesus, and we want to share Jesus with other people.
And are we so full of His Spirit that we literally bring it up in conversation no matter what the circumstance?
Yeah. So as you guys are hanging out today, maybe if you want to open up your Bibles and look in Acts and read chapters 24 through 26, you can read about the story of Paul sharing the gospel even with leaders. And you guys can be talking about just different opportunities for you guys to share the gospel with people in your lives.
That's true, Patatek. That's so true.
That's it. And that's not a one-time thing.
No.
Right? That's the command of the rest of our lives,
Yeah.
right?
That's the Great Commission.
That's right. So that's something that we should never stop asking ourselves, right? Who can I share this with? So, but that's all we got for our discussion. Just one question today.
That's it. But that was a really good discussion, though, Patatek. And I hope you guys are encouraged by that, because maybe it'll spark some discussion in your homes and with your friends and family members, and as Fedge always says, maybe with his hamster.
With his hamster. Jesus didn't come into this world to save hamsters, but. But he did humans.
Yeah, that's
right?
true. That's
and
so
he
true.
wants to know our humans.
That's so true.
Not that he doesn't care about hamsters, right? He does, but not in the same way as humans.
That's true. So true. Well,
that's all we got. Oh, letter.
Oh,
we got our questions.
We got to send the
Echo
questions.
Show
If we
Live.
don't send the questions, we have nothing to ask,
That's
right?
right. We just sit here at
Yes.
Echo Show Live and say,
And we just say, Good job, guys.
Yep.
So there's that question. We wrote the questions already, but those are questions that we have for you guys later tonight, on Saturday night, or Sunday morning services as well. So
We hope you guys have a great time.
Yeah.
Seriously, we love hanging out with you guys on the weekends, and we just get to come together and see our friends, but also get to worship Jesus,
Yep.
right? And
So
learn more
good.
about Him and what that means for us.
Yep.
So, anyway, hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm Pat Attack.
I'm DJ Shawnee D, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
When night has fallen, when fear is coming, still you're calling me. When faith is lost and my hope exhausted, you will be my strength. When my mind says I'm not